This is The Speaking Show. I'm David Newman, and you're tuned in to the #1 podcast for speakers, consultants, and experts who want to speak more profitably. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're sitting down. I am here with the one, the only Pat Dwyer from PatDwyer.com.
Hey, wait, I'm going to stop you real quick. Not PatDwyer.com. I don't have right to PatDwyer.com. Somebody else
dude,
does.
You're saying Pat Dwyer was taken?
Yes. In fact, Pat Dwyer
Pat Dwyer wasn't available?
No, it was not. It was not.
So you couldn't get PatDwyer.com?
No. But that's why I got Pat Dwyer was taken.com. Well,
that's what I'm saying. Pat Dwyer was taken, and obviously you must have gotten some other URL then. So where can people find you then?
Oh, just Pat Dwyer was taken.com.
I hear you that Pat Dwyer was taken, but dude, you still have to have a website, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, I see what's going on. It's Pat Dwyer was taken.com is, I think, really the problem.
This is the problem when you have a professional comedian, AKA Pat Dwyer, bump up against a totally unprofessional non-comedian like me. Anyway, Pat, welcome to The Speaking Show.
Well, thanks, David. I appreciate it very much. How are you?
This is the 2020 version of Who's on First.
I mean, honestly, the .com Who's on First is amazing.
Yeah.
I think we should take this point now and just say that this is now copywritten, and anyone who wants to use it can go away.
I like it. Well, so I spent a little bit of time on your website, and I've come to the firm conclusion that you are certifiably and wonderfully insane.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's funny. It's witty. I mean, everything has a little happy surprise or a little fun twist. So you are, and I want to get the backstory too, of course.
Sure.
But fast forward to that.
Are you okay? Oh my God, are you having a stroke? Are you having a stroke? Are you okay?
Fast forward to today. You are a professional speaker, a stand-up comedian, an MC, and apparently a thought leader.
Very close. I am actually not a stand-up comedian. I am an improviser. Yeah, I'm an improv comedian.
Professional improv. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, before I screw this interview up any further.
No, that's okay. You're all right.
Give us the whole Pat Dwyer story. What was your professional journey up to this point? And then we'll go behind the scenes and figure out more of your awesomeness from there. But give us the backstory.
This actually starts quite a few years ago. I was coming out of college. I went into the United States Peace Corps, and I was in Mauritania in West Africa. And so here's two things we need to know first for those of us who can't see me. A, portly gentleman. I'm a portly gentleman. Secondly, I grew up in New England and am very Irish and very fair-skinned. So they sent me to Africa in the desert in sub-Saharan Africa, and I got dysentery 3 times in a row. The heat and the food and everything else, it just did not, it was not sitting well. I lost 60 pounds in a month and a half and started to lose motor control and started to lose all sorts of things. But I was in the infirmary. Up to this point, I had expected to be, was hoping to be a dignitary. I wanted to go into the State Department. I had learned a couple different languages. I had done what I could do to do that. But when I was in the infirmary, somebody came and said, you know, Pat, you're making everybody giggle. If you want to do something with your life, maybe you should think about doing improv comedy over stand-up or something like that. And because you get to work with a group and do teamwork and things that you love anyways, maybe you should look at Second City in Chicago. And I, at that point, had no clue what he was talking about. But when I got sent home, I spent some time recovering for about a month and a half, gaining some weight back, if you will. And needless to say, I've overcompensated. So that worked out. And then I moved to Chicago with a duffel bag and a backpack. That was almost 20 years ago. Got on tour with a group called Mission Improbable, touring the country, doing improv comedy, working for Second City, working for IO Theater, working for Comedy Sports Theater. Comedy Sports is a massive brand also, and was a professional improviser for 15 years. And then you know what happens? David, do you know what happens?
You start wanting to make some money?
You'd think so, but no, I actually wanted to have a family.
That thing.
Yeah, it was the other. I mean, one, they're kind of the same. One just, hemorrhages money and the other one makes you money. Needless to say, no, improv does not make you money, but corporate training sure does. So I switched more towards professional speaking, found my way after a little while. I was just doing mostly improv workshops at the beginning, and now have parlayed that into optimism and positivity and joy, and really helping people care about their lives and actually have fun. A big part of what I'm speaking about now is play and goofing around and having a good time, but not getting in trouble. Which is a fine line, but nevertheless, yeah, that's what I mean. I still do me a good improv workshop, I'll tell you. Come on, let's get that improv workshop out. But using it more for communication tools and team collaboration and interdepartmental communications, things like that.
Gotcha. Well, this is very parallel to my story because I also started out in theater and I was on the directing side. I actually have an MFA in stage directing from the City University of New York.
Oh, my.
And I did all kinds of theater in New York City, stage managing, literary managing, assistant directing, couldn't rub two nickels together. And literally the same exact thing. I mean, I tell people the same thing when I'm a guest on a podcast, because I was doing some graduate school teaching in my MFA program. And a friend of mine says, well, you're pretty good at that teaching thing. You could do that for companies, and that's called corporate training. I swear to God, that's the advice I got. And they were right.
They are right.
They were right. We can do training for companies, people.
I will say I am kind of happy that more people with a theater background and some charisma haven't quite figured out that this is a good link.
Exactly.
It's great for me, great for us.
We'll let them keep working for like $100 a week in the dusty basement black box theater. So you have a couple of programs, and I spent some time on your website, obviously, and getting to know the Pat Dwyer zeitgeist. You talk about corporate's dirtiest word, and that is actually one of your keynotes, and it's also, you tip the hat there a little bit in one of the videos. What is corporate's dirtiest word, and perhaps how has that come to bite them in the butt lately?
Absolutely. Well, corporate's dirtiest word, in my opinion, is the word silly, because it's going to get you in trouble, or at least on paper, it's going to get you in trouble. But what we have found through, honestly, any number of data sources, but also just interacting with people all over the country, what we have found is that a little bit of excitement and a little bit of play goes a long way to keeping people energized and motivated and keeping them engaged in their day-to-day. So I have had a real good time teaching people how to goof around without getting in trouble.
Now, I also have to hand it to you, and I want to find out a little bit kind of behind the scenes what's going on here.
Ooh.
Your website has a very sharp, very fun graphic design look and feel. Like each of your programs is branded. It's got a logo. It's got a little imagery. Is that you? Like, do you have these secret ninja graphic design skills, or is that your team, or who is that?
This is me being cheap. So, friends, I'm going to accuse myself now of fraud. If you go online, there are any number of programs that you can just mock up something and then take a screenshot. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Great. Thank you for that compliment. I think it's just partially the mindset that I have of how to make things even visually appealing, as long as they are also informationally appealing.
Yes.
So I worked a little bit to get that at least close. And that having been said, it's not right. I'm never settling. So it will likely, if you hear this podcast and then you decide to hop on my website, might be different. What a fun time we're having. Maybe different every time you get on there.
It might be the ever-evolving, who knows what you'll find website.
It really depends. Guys, if you don't like it, write me. Let me know. Pat, you're a fool. And I'll just fix it. That's really how that works.
Well, just in case people think that this is some little crazy, silly sidebar kind of business, you have an awesome, awesome client list, truly. I mean, the name brand parade, everyone from Ernst & Young, Chase, AT&T, Abbott Labs, Humana, Rutgers, a lot of college, a lot of big banking, financial services, consulting, Aramark here in Philadelphia. How do we get in front of economic buyers at some of these big, giant corporate and university buyers, companies?
I'd like to tell you there is one route. Of the friends of mine who have been doing this for a while and myself, I don't know if there's one route to this. I think there is a bit of hard selling that people are missing. Sometimes you just got to make calls. And I think that there is an aversion to a lot of that, especially with the comedic side of this world, because it's a lot of touchy-feely. Oh, I want to help people, things like that, but I don't want to bother people in the calls. For me, though, it has been a 99% referral through other comedians, through other improvisers, through jobs that I did with other companies years ago before I decided to break out into my own, and then, reaching back out to those people, because I was pretty diligent about keeping contacts, just because you never know. We're all independent contractors in the world of comedy, so I just wanted to make sure I was smart about it from the get-go.
Right.
And we just reached the level of my business savvy. That was it.
So what you're saying is you have to have a hardcore sales DNA, but you didn't necessarily do that because a lot comes in through referral.
Yeah.
You're not doing a whole lot of outreach.
I think at the beginning I was doing more. Now it's more a matter of networking and staying up with people and, being friendly and staying on the same page.
You lost me there, buddy. Being friendly, being nice, being
Never heard
good
of
at
it.
what you do. Hang on. Did you say you're good at what you do and you actually get referred? Now we're in crazy town.
David, I'll say the Irish Catholic part of me will never allow me to say that I'm good at what I do. But I do all right. I like to make people giggle.
Okay, it's not. He wasn't terrible. I mean, I think the best testimonial on your website was, Pat really wasn't horrendous.
Yeah,
I think I saw
was my
that
mom
one on there.
Yeah, I think that was my mom.
Yeah. So let's talk about diversifying your various revenue streams.
Sure.
So we do improv comedy. Mm-hmm. We do some keynoting. I also see we're doing some workshops. And then tell us about adventures.
Oh, adventures. So I have been part of a sketch comedy group for a very long time called Kirkpaty, which is me and one other guy. We've written, I think 11 original shows at this point, and have performed them at festivals and comedy circuits all over the country and Canada. And we have successfully, have a bank of great sketch shows. Anyways, while we were on the road with one of our many shows, we started filming ourselves kind of doing tourist adventures around any number of towns. Specifically, the biggest one thus far has been Springfield, Illinois. We did a whole video in Springfield, Illinois, basically doing a tourism video, except everything was shut down. So 90% of us going to this adventure was us trying to get into things, and everything was shut down. So we put it on YouTube and it hit huge. I think we hit 250,000 hits in 2 days. And just have been kind of rolling through it from there. We have a number of different other travel videos from our other adventures. I think I'm sitting on 2 that I've yet to edit. It's fun, playful, goofy. It's very much on brand for that sketch group and for me as a speaker. More recently, I am starting to do them by myself, as I'm now on the road by myself. So I'm going to start showing people different parts of the country, mostly hotel rooms, I think, mostly my hotel room.
Wow. How about that? Now, there was something on your website, and I'm not finding it, but it was something like with a crazy, goofy name, very hard to pronounce.
Shark to puppy, I'm guessing.
Yes. What in heaven's name is that?
Well, clearly, David, a shark to puppy is a shark, puppy, octopus combination. I mean, that's on you. I don't know how you couldn't have.
It is on me.
Yeah.
What a moron this guy is. I don't know.
Come on.
How could I not get that?
What is wrong with all of us? Let's be honest. So Shark to Puppy is, again, in the world of comedy, especially in Chicago. I started writing commercials. I started directing commercials in Chicago, started directing viral content, quote unquote viral content. I don't think, never mind. We'll talk about viral content later. But I started directing any number of web segments, and it became profitable enough that we had to start a company. Because we needed to pretty much figure out what to do with the money. Because at the beginning, it was just me and a bunch of comedy friends writing and doing goofy bits whenever somebody came to us. And now it's become much more of a thing where we are actually writing for big companies and having a good time and goofing around a little bit, but profitably goofing around, which is great, both for the companies, more importantly, but also for us a little bit.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is pretty crazy. It's been an interesting run. I get to hang out with my top-notch comedy friends and create content that no one needs to think about. And then we throw things out at the wall and people go, that's actively great. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll take it. We will take it.
Hey, this interview is a real moneymaker. If you're serious about ramping up your reach and revenue as a speaker, trainer, or expert, book a confidential speaker strategy call with our team. The link is doitmarketing.com/call. It will be the most valuable 45 minutes you invest in your speaking-driven business. Speaking of value, let's get back to the show. For the company, are we framing this as innovation, creativity, collaboration, play at work? Kind of what's the value prop for the company to bring in the Crazy Clown Show?
Well, that is more a matter of creative content, period. You need creative content. We can and will generate it for you. You need something that will reach a new generation. We are that generation. So that is really what that comes down to. It's less a matter of an active sell as much as a matter of, again, it's all referral, right? I know somebody who knows somebody. They go, oh, you know who's really good at this? Here's Pat and his buddies. And then here we show up and we knock it out of the park and then we go about our business.
Wow.
It's not nearly as exciting as it's not crafty as it could be.
Creative mod squad.
Oh, easily. Very easily.
Do you think that'll evolve into some kind of agency at some point, or?
I hope not.
What a great answer.
No, I don't. That's too much. It's
too much work?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if we were driving from a business sense more than we are now, it's going to rob it of its uniqueness.
Okay.
If people need something and they know that they need something that they're not going to meet, we always fill it in. But I think us actively pursuing, hey, you want a bunch of fools to come over, is never going to work. Fools is the wrong thing. Very talented fools, individuals,
right.
Smart into fools. We're fools, whatever. We're a bunch
there you go. Sure. I love that. Well, you did a little bit of hinting, and I want to pick you up on that hint. You said about, videos, and it went viral, and we can talk about viral later. It's like, we can talk about viral.
Shall we?
So yes, let's. What is your experience? What's your advice? What's your video regimen? What are some insights from the world of video that you might share with us?
Well, I think that there is a pragmatic way about it, which is certainly smart, but it's going to take a long time. I think that the people make the mistake, and agencies and advertising companies and things like that will go, we want to create a viral video, and that is not a thing. It doesn't exist. It's not realistic. I'll happily take your money for telling me that, but that doesn't exist. And if anybody comes to you with that, go, oh yeah, absolutely. Let's write a viral video. That sounds awesome.
And by the way, that'll be $35,000. Thank you.
Easily. I'll talk all day long. Like, yeah, we can use the tenets of these videos and the tenets of other people's creative to try to connect with the pulse of America. But at the end of the day, I think that it is probably 40% talent and 60% luck. And the 40% talent is extremely difficult to find, but it's still 60% luck. For instance, the viral video, and I would say genuine viral video that we did with the first adventure, was a friend of a friend posted it on Reddit, and there was, I'm guessing, nothing going on Reddit that day. And then sure enough, we, topped the chart for 3 days, and then it was gone. That's how that works. Yeah. We've done other videos since, and sure, I mean, yes, I got 4,000 subscribers in a day, but that doesn't make it successful. If we keep cultivating and you do it on a regular schedule and you allow it to circulate regularly so that there's always something happening, I think you can grow your, listenership, your viewers. But I'm never, ever going to tell anybody that you can just make a viral video. That's silly.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Now, are you more actively feeding your YouTube channel, or are also looking into getting into podcasting and some other things? What's the media strategy?
You're so media strategy. I don't know. Well, let's talk about it. So, in this time of COVIDity, if you will, we are all needing to pivot. And I have also certainly started to pivot. Videos is kind of my strength, but I've started podcasting. A buddy of mine prior to this world event had started podcasting through a podcast called One Things, plural. We pick a topic and we always stick on it. We never stick on it, but it's pretty close. That's not even fair. It's not very close at all. But we talk sometimes with a guest. We've now started doing live broadcasting, but One Things is on every platform there is. We talk about, let's see, what some of the topics are. Shaving. We'll talk about shaving, or milk. We talked about milk one week. One week we talked about tugboats. Things like that. It's completely random. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, I've started my own podcast as of late, referred to as The Passion Project, PATSION Project. And I am speaking with business leaders and people who have jobs about not only their job as in regards to the description of that job, but really the part of that job that they wish everybody knew so they'd leave them alone. The part that we can't really talk about at parties, but we wish people would understand so that they could have customer service is a great example. People dig on customer service people all the time, but if we could have that conversation to talk to others and say, this is what's hard about my job, then maybe there could be a little bit more understanding. But again, positivity, love, happiness, all these things is really what we're digging into.
Wow. How about that? What were some of the key points of that milk episode?
Well, here, you know what? I'll give you one fact that I do retain. France eats 3-to-1 cheese out of everybody in the world, which you'd think kind of makes sense. But Americans in general eat just an astronomical amount of cheese. And it's probably not the good stuff. It's probably just American on burgers. But nevertheless, it's an astronomical amount of cheese.
You mentioned COVIDity.
Yes.
The COVIDness of what we're going through right now.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And obviously, it's a concern for people who are in the live events, live training phase, where your revenue is tied somewhat to your face-to-face presence. What are you doing as far as remote delivery, webinars, videos, as far as monetizing your expertise in this hopefully temporary period of COVIDity?
Right now, at the onset of this, I am doing what I can to remain, for lack of a better term, relevant. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think a big part about the Passion Project is meeting with people who have a story to tell and are in an industry that then I can say I have some understanding of. And in that, creating connection through that, and then ultimately creating workshops and creating keynotes and creating opportunities for larger conversations. I love the idea of chatting with people on a very personal level, not unlike this, and then remaining, friends, having a relationship. It's
not
great.
Not going to happen.
Not you and I, certainly not. No.
I mean, with other people, maybe.
Fair.
But yeah, not here, buddy.
And in fact, I've just recently scratched off the word Philadelphia off my to-go-to list. So I'm not even coming in your city, brother. Forget it. Not worth it.
I'm out. That's it. Forget it.
Liberty Bell, I don't want you. I don't want to see it.
Cheesesteak, screw you.
Forget it. Well,
screw your cheesesteak.
Maybe I'll make a small trip for cheesecake. Otherwise, it's done.
But you're certainly not going to call me when you come.
No, certainly not. In fact, I might eat that cheesesteak just near your house, but not to call you at all.
In fact, hang on. I think there's someone outside my bushes right now.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nope.
Pat, what are you doing? What the hell?
It's not. Oh, gotta go. And then you hear.
Super quick commercial break. Isn't this interview amazing? If you'd like to get more ideas on how to start or grow your speaking business fast, pop over to our free training at doitmarketing.com/webinar. You must have a lot of fun. I'm just going to benchmark this with you, see if this is accurate.
Okay.
And this is, I think, Connie Podesta said this best. She says, people think the speech or the training or the workshop happens when you walk into their building or walk into the facility, the conference room, the hotel, the whatever it is. She says the speech before the speech is the very first contact. So for example, she rarely picks up her phone because she wants the prospect to leave a message. So it's like, hey, Connie, this is Janet Jones. I'm the corporate VP of Schmeggity Schmeggity at McDonald's Corporation. We're here in Chicago. We're looking at possibly bringing you in for a keynote speaker. So Connie tells this great story that before she calls that person back, she wants to have a McDonald's story. My dad always took me to McDonald's. It was always a Saturday treat, blah, 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 blah. I love going to Chicago. Chicago's my favorite city. We go to the Bean. We do this. We do that. Man, the Chicago hot dog is so delicious. You guys should do Chicago hot dog, whatever. So she has a whole little talk track. Takes her about 10, 15 minutes to put her head together about this, calls them right back because you can't wait too long. And then she has this entire story and this entire wonderful experience, and she makes them laugh and she makes them think, and she tugs on their heartstrings about her connection to that company, to that client, to that industry, or to that brand. So just in talking with you, you have this great energy. You have this just fantastic warmth, funny humility, which I'm sure is fake. I mean, I'm sure that you're just big braggart, full of yourself, kind of person, but you fake the authenticity and the approachability so effectively that I just want to spend more time with you. And I think in a sales mode, and Jeffrey Gitomer is somebody that I follow and really like a lot. He says, you don't need more prospects. Nobody needs more prospects. You need more friends. And the more friends you have, the more business will develop. And it sounds like you subscribe to that philosophy. And it also helps that you're a genuinely nice guy, or at least fake genuinely nice guy.
I think even just putting the idea of, I don't need prospects, I need friends. Guys, I need friends. Please be my friend. I don't even want to debase what I want out of this in regards to even saying the word prospect, because that's not what it's about. I like people. I like being with people, and I would like to meet people. That's really what it is for me. I mean, yes, sure, there is some sort of exchange there, and that's just kind of the world that we live in. But I hope to write people and say, hey man, how's that barbecue? Hey lady, is your house on fire? Whatever it is, if it's house on fire. Because people get emails during that event. I just want to put that out there. If you get an email during your house being on fire, don't respond to it. Call the fire department.
Good tip.
Hey, if you took anything from this podcast. For me, it is just about relationships. I want to live in a world where I get to hang out with people I like, and vice versa. I mean, I will say, perhaps I'm a little bit too big for my britches, but there's certainly been a few people who I just don't want to work with. And I turn down gigs and I walk away from stuff that could be very lucrative because the people are jerks and I'm not interested in dancing with them. I'm effective at it. I've done it before. I hate it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that. So for me, it is about relationships. It is about fun. It is about playing. It is about all those things.
I always tell people that they should do marketing that's easy, effortless, and enjoyable. And to me, as soon as I say marketing, a lot of people go, eh. But then I say, well, play to your strengths. So if you love writing, then use writing strategies. And I go, oh, but that's not marketing because I like that. Okay. If you like speaking is a lead generator, revenue generator, et cetera, but speaking is a lead generator in this case, then use speaking strategies. So speaking for free, webinars, podcasts, those are all speaking strategies, in my opinion. They go, that's not really marketing because I enjoy doing that. I say, if you like people, if you like networking, if you like, networking and referrals and meeting new people and maintaining relationships, for heaven's sakes, use people strategies, use network. They go, well, that's not marketing because I enjoy that. So it's almost like the definition of marketing is all the crap you hate.
Yeah,
and
well,
if you enjoy it, it seems to be not marketing. Isn't that weird?
Well, I think for me, spending however many years in the improv community and the comedy community that I did, I learned pretty early on how to sell me as a person and be me and not really negotiate with that. I've gotten dinged a few times because of PatDwyerWasTaken.com, but you better know that I don't need a business card.
Right.
People will say, oh, yeah, I will remember that. I'm like, yeah, because I'm an idiot. Absolutely. And also, if somebody gets on PatDwyerWasTaken.com, and at that point, they already know what they're signing up for. Like, This guy's a nitwit in a great, loving, positive way. But I mean, my voicemail is a great example. I've also gotten people saying, like, should you change your voicemail? My voicemail is, Hey, you've reached Pat Dwyer. Congratulations. And then the voice, it starts. Like, that's it. That's my voicemail. Yep. And it starts right there. And it sounds braggadocious. It's just me being silly. I live in a world where I want that to be part of the lexicon, part of business, part of life. We spend too many hours at work. We might as well have a good time.
Can I do some voicemail consulting with you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I will say it's going to be short, sweet, and probably way more ridiculous than you're ready for.
Well, so here's my voicemail. And for years and years, it's been this, and I also get dinged for it. I say, hey, you've reached David Newman. You know what to do. Beep. Because every other moron is out there. Hello, you've reached David Newman. I am talking to a client. I am wiping my butt. I am having a cocktail, whatever they're saying, right? Please leave a message after the tone, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Of course, leave it. We now know how voicemail works. We've had it for 30 plus years. We get it.
Yeah, totally.
I just would say, it's David Newman. You know what to do. And they go, oh, that's arrogant. That's not good customer service. Oh, you're being a wise ass. Oh, you're not treating people with respect. It's like, I'm actually treating you with more respect than if I told you how to leave a voicemail.
These people who are calling us are busy people, as they should be. They would not be calling me if they were just hanging out. I mean, I've got some of those friends too, but they're all in comedy. It's very sad. Those poor people. Anyways, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, voicemails, especially if you don't know how to use it, there's no reason. Well, I will say I did a conference for a bunch of mountain men up in Alaska. I didn't. That's not real. But they didn't know how to use voicemail. I'll tell you that much.
Do they all look like ZZ Top?
Yeah, it was weird. They actually all had guitars as well. Oh, it was the ZZ Top convention. That's what I was at. That's my bad. I get those confused a lot.
ZZ Top.
Well, one guy had an axe, but it was a totally different convention. He was in the wrong room. It was at the same hotel, which was nice.
Yeah.
But he was in the wrong room.
What are you going to do?
Well, I asked him to leave because I was like, that's an actual axe. Yes. We need a guitar axe. Well, long story short, I have one less finger on one of my hands.
But what a great experience. And now you have what we call in the speaking world, material.
I do. And we're friends. That guy and I are friends, which is nice. That's really, I told you, that's what I'm aiming for.
There you go. Well, I've got two final questions for Pat Dwyer, because Pat Dwyer was taken.com. The final question is, how do people get connected and stay connected to more Pat Dwyer brilliance? And we give them links and websites and podcasts, and we can even give them things that don't exist yet.
Gosh, let's do it.
Books and encyclopedias and who knows what they can get from you. But my second to last question is, if people were to take one central idea from our conversation about improv, about life, about laughter, about being approachable, being friendly, being in the moment, how to get over their COVIDness, whatever they want to do, one central idea that you would love to leave people with, what would that be?
I think I want to leave you with authenticity. Be yourself. If people are not hiring you, being yourself, you're selling to the wrong people. Maybe it ain't for you. What you're doing is not for you. And that's fine. Just take some time, figure it out. Just figure it out. It doesn't take that long. That's what I would say. Just if you can be yourself, there is a lot less stress. It's sort of like lying. Every lie you tell, you have to keep track of. But if you are you, not unapologetically in a hurting somebody else kind of a way, but if you are you, you're not lying. You don't have to keep track of anything. If somebody doesn't want to be in your house, that's fine. But nevertheless, that's what I would say.
I love it. Now, how do people get connected and stay connected to more Pat Dwyer?
Well, Pat Dwyer wastaken.com certainly is a wonderful route. Also, on every single social media that there is, I am at I know Pat Dwyer, because once you sign up, you sure do. I know Pat Dwyer will work for anything. I mean, I am on TikTok. I've never used it, but I have an account. I don't know if I could lip sync as well as others think they could. So I'm not.
A lot of booty shaking there on TikTok.
Well, and it's just too much booty. It's just too much booty. I'm going to break the TikTok.
Do you think that domain's taken?
Too much booty?
Too much booty?
Easily, but it's probably not what you think it is.
Let's not go there right now.
I mean, we could. No, it's not. That's
fair.
We
could. And, if it's just audio, who knows what might come up? It might be fine.
Well, I'm going to move on. Yeah.
All right. And then the podcast. Give us the podcast connection as well, please.
Absolutely. So One Things, the podcast One Things, which again is just a diversion from reality in some respects, is you can find us at somanyoneThings.com. We have the website, somanyoneThings.com. You can find us just at somanyoneThings all over the place. For Passion Project, it is PATSION, so Passion Project. And that is going to be very shortly all sorts of social media handles and things like that. And I'm going to be up and running probably within a week, which is great. I don't know when this is going to go up, but hey, whenever
this will never be
goes
published,
up,
but we had a great time recording it. It's never being posted. Never.
I will say, whenever this goes up, whenever never happens, wait a week, and that's when my podcast will happen. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to, and no one needs to edit this.
That is a deal. With whenever never happens, wait a week. Then Pat's podcast goes live.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Whenever, never, after never, a never.
Well,
never
we are,
after never.
In all seriosity, we're going to link up all of those links directly under this episode. When people go to thespeakingshow.com, you're going to get Pat's website, social media links, both podcasts, all the goodies, all the fun stuff. And Pat Dwyer, thank you for being with us. I've never had this much fun, ever. We're like episode 150, who knows what the hell? And I've never had this much fun. So we have to have you back.
I absolutely love that.
Well, that wraps up another episode of The Speaking Show. Hey, tell you what, if you like us, rate us and review us on iTunes. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Go grab the notes and downloads and extras at thespeakingshow.com. See you next time.